Hey everyone, in this episode, we're going to take a look at Uncle Drew. We're going to talk about the comedy, the performances by the basketball stars, and the overall message the movie gives. All that and more in episode 53 of the Reel-ists Podcast. Hola, listeners. I switched it up.
Buenos días.
If you're listening to this in the AM.
Buenos tardes.
If you're listening to the afternoon PM.
Buenas noches.
I hope someone makes that one a ringtone. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Yes, thank you again for joining us on this fun, exciting episode. We're in the 50s now, Donnie. We're climbing up. Climbing on up.
53.
Yes. Perfect. So we're going to be taking a look at Uncle Drew. But before that, we just always want to say thank you to all our listeners. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. We hope you enjoy this episode. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Hopefully, we can say welcome home. Or not welcome home. But, you know, like that kind of like we know it's like you listen to us. You already know how we are. Kind of like familiar friends.
Ah, okay. I got you.
That kind of like.
That kind of welcome home.
Yeah. Not like.
I was like, you trying to invite everyone to our home right now?
Our address is at. No, but yes, we just hope you guys.
That could be a fun thing we could maybe aspire to do.
Get people to come to the house.
Get some of our listeners, do a meet and greet with the Reel-ists Podcast.
Instead of going like to conventions.
Come for an evening at our home.
Is there a podcast convention?
PodCon.
Did you make that up?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a thing?
I don't know if VidCon would be part of it because we're not videos.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
PodCon.
PodCon, maybe. I like how that sounds. That's right.
Yeah, it sounds real. I would believe it.
I'll look it up. We'll Google it.
It does.
Watch it be a thing.
We should look into a convention. We should start going to conventions. I'm only saying that because
you're saying that, yeah, because Comic-Con's coming up. That's why.
I'm excited. Comic-Con, July 21st. Everyone, Warner Brothers, DC. Be prepared. Enough for that advertisement. But yeah, so before we go into our discussion of Uncle Drew, just keep in mind it is a spoiler review, so we will be talking about some spoilers in it. Not necessarily big spoilers in this one, but if you are planning on seeing it, you may want to just watch it first before listening to our episode.
So there is a website called PodCon for people who love podcasts.
Oh, nice. Is there dates? So wait, is the website for an actual meet and greet, or is it just a website dedicated to people that love podcasts?
I'm still figuring that out.
Okay,
I'll get back to you.
So, yes, and in case you are listening for the first time, we'll just go ahead and mention we are the Reel-ists Podcast. We're here to talk about movies and see certain scenes or aspects of a film and how they tie into real life. So, it's kind of our theme around our reviews, so hopefully you guys can enjoy that. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying our real discussion or real conversation. So, we'll change the name. Something we've been starting up. We got some feedback actually from our last one for AMC versus MoviePass. So
we did.
Thank you everyone who is contributing and writing back to us. We love it.
We do. Trust me. We get really excited when we get comments.
We get the notification. Yep. Absolutely. So did you find anything? Nothing yet?
Nothing yet. I'm still lurking.
You have next episode.
I'm still lurking. I'm still looking.
You have next episode to provide everyone. Before we go on to our review, though, I do want to go ahead and briefly just mention a call to action to everyone here. So there is an app called Clap It, and it's an app that really helps, I don't want to say unknown actors, but it helps actors up and coming who just want to get some assistance in getting it into the big screen. Essentially, we have to do 20-second auditions. Most of them are improv scenes, and it's just a way for us to get some attention from the casting directors and directors themselves. So I have one up. So if you can, go ahead and download the Clap It app, search for my name, and hopefully you enjoyed my audition enough to clap it, I believe is how they phrase it. My name is Oscar Rivera. Oscar Rivera. I mean, I'll tweet more information about it once it's officially up and on the day these podcasts come out, so you guys can have more detailed information. So be on the lookout for Twitter and possibly Facebook. I don't think Instagram is probably going to have one, but Twitter and Facebook. we'll have some further instructions on how to download, what the app looks like, and get that going. So I'd appreciate any support for anyone who is listening. It's just a way for me to get into this big leagues of movies. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Be an insider.
Oscar Rivera.
Oh, I didn't.
I just said your name.
I didn't realize I didn't say it. I whispered.
Well, no, you did say it, but you said it really, really fast, so I didn't know if they caught your last name. So
did I? I didn't
you
realize
did.
my name.
You did it. You said.
Oh.
You said, no, my name is Oscar Rivera. You said it like fast.
Okay. I didn't. I know I said it. I know I whispered it jokingly, but.
And then you said it like right after.
Ah, dang! Look at that. Just flows naturally. All right.
So. Just really, really quickly, PodCon is actually it's a conference, and it's gonna be.
I thought it was
gonna plug in something. Just want to let everybody know that.
Oh no! It's a conference. It's gonna be Oh well, never mind. It already was. December 9th and 10th, 2017 in Seattle at a convention center.
Dang, we got to travel to Seattle if that's gonna be okay.
But it was like so maybe this year's PodCon if they have another one.
Right. Let us know.
They do it annually.
Maybe we can make it happen.
Yeah.
We have a family friend that has a hookup in Seattle, so.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay.
Do we? What friend?
I know. What friend are you talking about?
All right, Donnie, you ready to get into Uncle Drew?
Uncle Drew. He's the truth.
All right.
Young blood.
So, yes, Uncle Drew, a basketball comedy, really just about the appreciation of basketball. But the direct story is a street basketball legend went underground. No one heard of him after he had a little scandal. And reemerges and is helping what would you describe? A coach. He's helping a upcoming coach into the street tournament called the Ruskers. No, Ruckers. Yes. So that's essentially the storyline of the movie. The movie does consist of basketball stars. Uncle Drew primarily is Kyrie Irving, but there's also appearances by Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Reggie Miller. And who else? There was another
Nate Robinson, Lisa Leslie.
Yes. And I think that's it for basketball stars.
Players,
but it also has Tiffany Haddish, Nick Kroll, and a new actor. At least I haven't heard of him in anything else. But Lil Ray Howery.
Lil Howery.
Yes.
He was in Tag in the beginning. He was in the very beginning when he was the one who hired the...
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So I've seen him in two things.
Right?
Oh, no, wait. Wasn't he the friend? Oh, no, wow. So apparently he was in more things. And Get Out.
He was.
He was a cop friend, yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Well, not a cop friend. Security friend, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
That was them together. Boom.
This is his year.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Wow, that's three things I've seen him in this year. Although Get Out didn't come out this year, but still, I saw him this year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Donnie, what are your initial thoughts about this movie?
I liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. I knew it was going to be like it's a comedy, and it was going to, be kind of... Look, it looked a little silly at first, like a little outlandish. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be too into it.
It did seem like a skit more so than a movie, kind of like... Because it's basketball
very
stars and makeup and like...
Yeah, and these weird, old people... costumes and wigs, and so it's just I didn't know how into it I was gonna be, but I just went with an open mind, and I was like, I'm sure I'll get something from it, and I ended up really liking it. I thought it was really fun. It was just like more than anything, it was just a fun, entertaining movie.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that you have to just go in and just like you're not getting something super like
like a Coach Carter.
I was gonna say substantial, but like something like like a Coach Carter, or that's not gonna be like grade A acting performances, or
right.
But as long as your expectations aren't too high when you go into it, and you're just going to just mindlessly watch a movie and just be entertained, then I think you're gonna come out really excited and happy with what you got.
And true. And if you also have an appreciation of the NBA, and you like these if basketball stars.
Yeah, I think if you like sports films, normally when you see a sports film, it's a drama or a biopic.
Right.
But it was cool to see like a sports film, but it was funny too. that was nice. It was a nice like switch up.
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't have any expectations going into it. It wasn't like I was expecting, to become a fan of Kyrie Irving or go watch, highlight films of any of the basketball stars, legends. But it was just nice to kind of see the other side of basketball outside of like the sports, the big leagues and all these agents free agents getting like millions of dollars signing with new teams and all that. So it was nice to just see the fun of what basketball means to common day people in that sense. The story obviously was a little dramatic. No, it's not dramatic, but like it was not realistic in any way, just due to an older person just not being able to have that same skills and that kind of like pace and endurance to be able to
keep up with like 20 and 30 year olds who like
in an actual like competition
who do
game,
this who like they're not professional but they play basketball every day. They're in top shape, they're conditioned. So for like these old timers to like come and be able to keep up that's a little unrealistic, but like we said, it's a movie and we know it's a comedy and
right, exactly. Like you don't go in there thinking you're gonna get wowed or something like that. You're not walking away with any difference other than another appreciation of basketball if you already had that, or if you weren't really seeing basketball as something other than just another big time sports game. So I think that's probably what the biggest takeaway is. It's just another shout out to the love of basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do want to ask, because athletes aren't actors. So when you hear of athletes appearing in movies and even in this movie, it's not just a cameo; it's like an actual role. Do you see that differently when they're on screen, or do you just see them like, oh, they're just playing like these characters? Like they're not. That's not actually, them being a character. That's just them. A dramatic version of them probably, or something like that.
I think if it was a drama, then I would go in with like, oh, I can't take it seriously, or I can't I feel like they're not being accurate in this portrayal of this character. Like I think if it was a serious movie, I would have those thoughts, but because it's a comedy, I feel like I don't really think about it like that. So I wasn't in there like watching it and going, oh, Kyrie Irving, he's like so not a good actor. He's totally not investing in this character here. He's not like believable or anything like that. I was a little less, critical of that in that aspect.
What about other movies that you see them in? So is it only when they're trying to be like an actual like actor or someone playing a character to maybe? Because I just know, like, when you see an athlete trying to do something else, you always think first, you're an athlete. You're the player of this team, and you won this many awards, and this is why you're known for. Mm-hmm. But to see them go from that kind of career to another career, it still kind of has, like, that prejudgments. When with actors...
It's kind of like, I feel like that, too. Like, when you see, like, musicians...
Oh, yeah.
Who, like, want to start acting. And then it's, like, it's hard to shake that, too. Like, once you see somebody and, like, they're in their avenue and that's what they're known for and what their moneymaker is, for them to try to switch a lane, it is hard to, like, adjust. But I don't think it's, like, not doable. And
if it's a role that's part of the fun, I think it works. But if it's, like, a role where they're trying to completely change people's perspective on what they can do, maybe that might be a different or harder task for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because all these roles that they played on were not necessarily they were one dimensional to some degree, but they still had some personality that you can sense that it was realistic in some sense, like the relationship between the Chris Webber's character, who the names are leaving me. They all had like these nicknames.
Yeah.
The only ones I remember is Youngblood. What was his name? Chris Webber and Lisa Leslie.
Webber was the preacher.
Yes, and his wife.
And Lisa Leslie was Betty Lou.
So those two, like that one, I honestly felt like they were like a real couple to some degree.
Like they seemed like there was some chemistry there.
There was a comedy angle, so yeah, maybe not like they would actually be like that literal in the relationship, but I felt like some of that was believable to some extent. So,
or even like the animosity that was between Shaquille O'Neal's character and and Uncle Drew.
Ah, yeah.
So Big Fella is what they call him, Big Fella and Uncle Drew. Like even that dynamic, like that felt like there was really tension between them.
Right. I can see that.
Shaquille O'Neal, you know. So that was like, I feel like, and because they're athletes, they know about like putting in the work and, you know, training and all that. So I feel like I would hope that when an athlete does decide to do a film, that they bring the same readiness to put in the work for the film as they would like for their sport.
Rather
than
winging it. Or...
Like I would assume that they would just go into that mindset like this is just like playing basketball or football or whatever. Like I need to put in the work. I have to, you know, like put some time and effort and energy to this so I can, you know, be good at it.
Yeah.
Like I would hope they wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm Kyrie Irving. I don't need to prepare anything.
And that makes sense if it's like a cameo or they're playing themselves in the movie where you maybe like a main character is trying to get their autograph or, you know, something where it's like they don't have to prepare for it that too much. But these were actual characters that they had to portray. So that was nice. It was nice that I felt like they did. I don't know if they did or not, but it felt like they did put in some thought and consideration into like, you know, like Reggie Miller's character actually felt like, you know, he did have vision problems. Like, you know, it was like those small things. Or was it Shorty? I think maybe the one in the wheelchair for most of it.
Boots.
Boots. Yeah.
Just
so like
making up names.
They're all nicknames. They're all that's a tough part.
Yeah.
But yeah, even
Boots. Yeah. Like he seemed like, you know, his thing was like he was in a wheelchair and he couldn't walk and he wasn't really like verbal.
Right.
It seemed like he couldn't speak, you know. But even his like performance seemed like believable, you know, like seemed like he was really kind of mentally not there and checked out a little bit. But
they definitely did a good job in allowing you to continue enjoying the movie, and at no point did I get taken out, even by Uncle Drew, knowing it was Kyrie Irving, knowing I was like, this is an actual basketball player, like behind, you know, the makeup and all that. It still felt like this was someone different, even for the movie, for the length of the movie.
Yeah, for sure it did.
That was nice. But even the blooper reel,
that was like a 10-minute blooper reel
at the end. Oh my god,
it was nice. That was cool though. It was funny.
I think that just shows you that they were enjoying this for the idea of what the movie was set out to do, which was to have a good time with the appreciation of basketball in a different way rather than a big leagues. All I know is that it was funny that we saw it on the day that was like NBA relevant, because there was a lot of talk of NBA with free agency and who was signing. So it was funny that we went to go see that movie on the night that like everything was big happening. So that was nice. Kind of felt right. Maybe that was intentional to release it when free agency was going to open up, because there was going to be a lot of basketball talk.
That would not surprise me at all.
That's a good marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was there a particular scene that you enjoyed?
There were a couple scenes that I really, really liked. The first one was when the preacher was gonna baptize the baby, and he was like
treating it like a basketball,
or look like a football sometimes, like the way he was holding it, and he was gonna like dunk it, and Dax was kind of like stood up and was like, "You can't do that." That was one of my favorite scenes.
Dax and Youngblood, or AKA Youngblood.
Yeah. There are a lot of scenes. That one was a good one. Obviously we already gave the spoiler alert, but when Dax makes the winning shot at the end, that was like, I was like, please let him make the shot, because you kind of get this little backstory of him and how his kind of arch nemesis, I forgot his name.
Nick Grohl is the actor, but
how he kind of like embarrassed him when they were adolescents, and that discouraged him from ever wanting to try to do anything again. So for him to like, Uncle Drew kind of encouraged him, like, you know, this is on you, like you can do it. We believe in you. And he made the winning shot, and it was like, yes. It was like so cool. Obviously I'm all about like the climactic scenes, like in the end, like I really,
the winner, the hero.
Yeah, I really do, because it's like you build up to, you know, throughout the entirety of the film, you build up to that moment. So it's like, I love when it's right, when the hero wins, or the, you know, the underdog overcomes, or, you know, that kind of thing. I'm into it.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
What about you?
For me in particular, my favorite scene was when they were kind of reuniting in the basketball court before the competition started, before the tournament began, and Uncle Drew was kind of making amends and giving the spirit back into everyone.
Yeah.
I really like that moment, only because, for two reasons. One, when you have been friends for that long, or you've known them for long, you do know ways that can get that ignition going for them, to get them inspired or excited about something. And it was just nice to know that Uncle Drew wasn't, you know, he really wasn't into the tournament itself. I mean, he had confidence that they can handle it, but it was more of just about
reconnecting with his family or his friends,
who are practically family.
Were like his family, but and then it wasn't about winning the $100,000 prize or anything. It was
that was his ultimate like motivation into doing it and participating and helping Dax do all of that. But that was nice. I really enjoyed that scene, and in addition to the ones you mentioned, and then all just the little comedic moments. Tiffany Haddish with her, I want my money, or that was it a part of the bloopers what she was calling, and
when she kept calling him at the end, that was part of the bloopers, which was I think one of our favorite scenes too, like that whole or I don't know if it was the bloopers, but it was the kind of like the mid-credit scene, post-credit or mid-credit scene, like when the credits were starting to roll.
And then that one line that both of us, that's the Advil. Oh my god!
Shout out to Advil, number one painkiller in the game right now. That was the best line for me. The whole movie, that was the funniest line.
And we saw that a lot of it was improv. So that was nice. So
with the bloopers we did, and that was really cool. And that made me even appreciate the comedy in it even more.
Yeah,
because I love because that guy, what's his name?
Lowell
Howery. Like I know he's done like a comedian and does like stand up and stuff. So
really? Nice.
Just to know that you have like wasn't that Nick Kroll guy? Isn't he a comedian too?
I want to say yes. His name sounds familiar and his look feels familiar, but I don't recall anything that he's been in. From the top of my head, but I would imagine he was a comedian because. It was like either you're a comedian or you're a basketball star in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was no like serious, Denzel Washington or best known actor kind of person in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely is one that it was either one of those two sides, and it worked out. It worked out with the improv, and it worked out with even the basketball scenes where you actually like saw them playing basketball and actually dribbling and doing all the nice tricks. I'm sure that wasn't movie magic. I'm sure that was legit them playing basketball. So that was cool. So with all that being said, what is your real score for this movie?
I would give this one for myself. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, nice.
I would because it was really enjoyable to watch. It was something I definitely could see myself watching again. Like if I was at home on a Saturday night and I'm like, I just want to laugh or something. Like I would put that on again.
I could see that.
Or like have like one of my friends or family members watch it because I think it's funny and it's just entertaining, and I think it had a good message. And it was just like another feel good comedy.
I like the
feel good comedies.
I do. I said I did, but I do agree with a lot of that. I'm going to be just a tad bit more harsh in that manner. I'm going to give it a 3.0. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Okay.
But yes, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. The only thing that I am necessarily dinging on is that despite the improv, I still feel like the story should have been a little polished, a little more in that, because the whole Lil Ray, Howery, Dex character, making the big hoop, I felt like that was thrown on to get that emotional connection to the audience, but I didn't feel like this movie wasn't about him. Like I felt like the entire movie was about Uncle Drew and his character and his friends, but I didn't really necessarily feel it was about the coach in that manner. Like I knew he was like a small part of it and he was becoming part of the family, but to me it felt like that was thrown on there. I understand his story was mentioned earlier, but I still feel like it was mentioned earlier for us to sympathize, and then it was all of a sudden he needs to overcome this challenge he's had.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes kind of good friends with his arch rival kind of thing. So that to me was a problem with it. I just wanted it to be more like, I understand what the message is trying to go for, but I felt like they were trying to cover it in different ways. Being that it doesn't matter what age you are, you always have an appreciation for the sport, or, one mistake doesn't mean, you should end it. You miss, what was it? What was the line?
You don't stop playing the game because you get old. You get old because you stop playing the game.
And then, there's the other one. I was thinking of the 100% line. You miss
100% of the shots you don't take.
So, like, I get those.
Which I just said that to you like a week ago.
Did you really?
Remember when we were walking upstairs and I was like, Wayne Gretzky once said.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I like that. I think that's a lot of people's favorite quotes. But yeah, I'm glad they put it in here.
That made it seem like Uncle Drew came up with it.
I know.
But yeah, so that to me was a little bit of the harsh part of it that I would say not that it's not entertaining. It is still an entertaining movie. But at the same time, I see myself looking at it and just wanting to say, what's the reason for doing this? Why did they decide to put that into there? Was this more comedy focused? Did they really care about teaching people about basketball? Was this one for newcomers? If I didn't really appreciate basketball, was this their way to show that it's something I shouldn't be interested in? So for that reasons, I just felt like they should have just had that one focus throughout the entire movie. But yeah, and then the little predictability aspects and all that. But for the most part, it's entertaining. I won't say don't watch it. I would encourage you to go watch it, even if you're not a basketball or sports fan at all. It's just a nice, fun movie to just watch. It's exactly in the same way that you would see a comedy movie for different reasons. It's either action or one-liners, and this one kind of has a little bit of both. And
I like that it's like it's like a family comedy too. Like, I mean, not saying that they're marketing it for the family, but it's not super raunchy or so explicit or salacious that you don't want to take your kids to see it or anything like that. Or like, I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure there was a little language, but I don't remember like any super bad language. Like, it seemed like I could bring like, my nieces or nephews to see it, and I'd be totally fine with it, So yeah.
Yeah, so no, I definitely enjoyed it. Just for the small things. That opening too kind of was like a little distracting with like the real NBA players trying to like give their insight into Uncle Drew.
You didn't like that?
Not really, no.
I liked it.
I liked the fictional characters giving their opinions, but when it like was the real characters, I get it was a shout out to the big stars, the ones that played the game. I don't know, but to me, I'm not always a big fan when they try to make it seem like it's real with like ESPN coverage and all that stuff. Only if it's wanting it to be taken serious in that manner. But this one was more of like it was. Not that it wasn't taking itself serious, but that they were trying to incorporate things that you are familiar with when you think of sports, and I just felt like that didn't have to be like this. You didn't have to, because if you didn't know ESPN, what ESPN was or anything like that, this kind of just it just looks like another news outlet. So it didn't have to be ESPN. But yeah, those small things.
They did that too in Love and Basketball, but I don't think you didn't see that one.
I have not seen that.
They did that too. I personally enjoy it because I think adds to it gives it more a sense of like realism for me personally.
And yeah, I mean, it makes sense if it's a true documentary. We won't go into it, but but yeah, that was just, I guess, a personal remark. But yes, so hopefully you guys agree with our review of the movie, or if you thought it was better or worse, we definitely would love to hear your feedback on that. Definitely let us know anything you guys want to talk about Uncle Drew or basketball movies. Donnie mentioned one basketball movie I should probably watch. Is there any other basketball movies that maybe I should watch?
Coach Carter was great.
I've seen that one.
Okay.
Did
you ever see Hoosiers? That was like a back in the day one. That was an old school one, but that was a good one. Well, I know a lot of people loved it, but I mean, it was okay to me. Maybe because it was so back in the day, it kind of took me out. But
it wasn't timeless.
Yeah, I guess. But let's see. Yeah, Love and Basketball is probably my favorite basketball.
I want to hear a lot of talk and great things
really
about.
Good. You should watch that one. I'm trying to think. What other ones are there?
This was for the audience to tell me.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you didn't open that question up to me. I thought. Sorry.
Go create a profile, put a fictional name, and then list all these movies.
My bad. Okay, I'll shut up.
But definitely don't forget, we are on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's Team REELISTS. And then just let us know at any time or any basketball thoughts. If you guys want to talk free agency, I'm a sports fan. Donnie's a sports fan. So.
I also liked the More Than Just a Game. Is that what it's called? The LeBron documentary.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was a good documentary.
I like the song.
Yeah, you should watch the documentary. We should watch the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Since
he's
LeBron just joined your team.
No, thanks for disclosing that. Now all Lakers fans are going to join in, but now everyone else is going to stop listening.
It's all right.
We just alienated our audience.
Well, if it's that big of a deal, Ruben can edit that part out.
No, it's been said. Damage has been done. But yes, just kidding. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode. Thank you again for listening.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I just wanted to repeat you.
Thank you.